the next speaker, Donna Cook, who's a very wonderful friend, probably the most commonsensical person you could ever hope to meet. She's great. She has lived in Tiverton 35 years. She's raised 3 children here. 3 years ago, she joined me in deciding to run for the budget committee, and we both got on, and the first 2 years was a 8 to 3, 8 to 3. We lost every time with Maggie. And then, so she is still on the budget committee, but she did decide to run for town council last year. And I'd like you to know she just lost by 40 votes to Denise DiMedeiros. So Donna is obviously well known and respected in town, and she's wonderful. So here she is.
Good evening. Thank you for coming. I got involved in politics because I was kind of like everybody else. I was kind of angry the way I saw things going on, and I could sit by the sidelines and complain, and it doesn't really do anything. You can sit there and complain. So I decided to do a charter complaint, and that caused an uproar. And then I decided that I liked being able to try to make a difference in the town. I also was subjected to the taxes going up so quickly and feeling helpless as to what to do. And I found that the FTR was a wonderful tool for the taxpayer to use when elected officials were not listening. There was no reason to listen. There was nothing to stop them. There was nothing where they had to look over their shoulder and make sure that they were paying attention. They do pay attention now because the power of the FTR was given through the charter to the people to speak and vote and say and make them pay attention that it's not all right to keep taxing the way it was going. It definitely tells you that it's a wonderful tool because, as you can see, it has stopped it in its tracks to something that, yes, you do have to pay for services in the town of Tiverton. But what's reasonable? Is it reasonable that every year when you get your taxes before the FTR, you are actually afraid to open the tax bill? Afraid that you might be priced out of town? I think the FTR has given power to the people to say, I don't want to be priced out of town. But it's not just seniors that are asking these questions. You also need to ask yourself, am I pricing my grandchildren out of town? Am I pricing my children out of town? And I think you are. And also, your wealth is being redistributed to everyone, and you're losing your wealth. You're losing it in your home. You try to sell your home, you're losing 15% because the take back is that the taxes are so high that you have to give almost 15% back. And it is a tax. It's an added tax that you have to pay because you have to take that off your home to sell it. And I think as an asset, you're losing value in your asset. And you have to think about that. And that has given you the power of the FTR to try to take back some of your wealth that you're distributing around town. And also, I find a lot of people are writing that there needs to be compromise. What does that mean? And divisiveness. And I thought about that, and I'm like, what does that really mean? Does it mean that for compromise and not to be divisive, that I'm supposed to sit, shut up, and be quiet, and just open my wallet and let moths come out? I mean, what does that mean to get along with people? apparently it means that I'm not supposed to speak up as someone takes my money. But I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to speak up because I'm not just going to give away my wealth. I deserve what I've worked for. I deserve to keep what I have, and I am willing to pay fairly for the services in town, but not overpay. So I am asking that we protect the FTR. That's why I'm involved, to be on the commission. And also, the casino money is very important to me. I'm not for gambling, but I'm like, well, I would like it to be for tax relief. Then I find out after the fact that there's this whole type of a plan to go around the FTR, and I was pretty upset, personally very upset about that there was this government process going on that was going to keep it out of the people to vote on where they want the money to be spent. I think it was kind of a trick, because I don't ever remember it being spoken about during the whole process of a casino. Not once did I hear it being spoken about. I just assumed, and I guess I was wrong, that it would go into the general fund and be part of the budget process that we're used to. Then I find out that it's not going to be. So I kind of felt like it was underhanded to me. It's very underhanded. It does say in the charter that it doesn't specifically say in that section that all fees and funds and revenue is to go into the general fund, because there was no casino. So to cover the casino, the people that put together the charter, they used miscellaneous was the word, miscellaneous. You have to use the word miscellaneous because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. But I think it covers that, but they're saying it doesn't. So as I find that this casino subcommittee wants to appropriate the money away from the budget process, I also find that that it just has to be the right of the people to vote on this money. So, and lastly, I will, pledge to protect the FTR. I think it's an important tool for the taxpayer, and I pledge to make sure that the funds for the casino, the language is in the charter to make sure that it's in the budget process. And I thank you for your time. Thank you.